We have two of them. Elmer's is 89,512. If you take Reith and Riley's, page 2, the bottom 3 bids, and subtract those. Is it? Oh, is that right? I'm sorry. That's-
Yeah, I just give you a
What's
Rob.
the total?
Total bid price from Reith and Riley, $97,320.
Hmm?
And the bid from Elmer's, $89,512.
Which left the difference of $7,808.
But doesn't one have more on it than the other one?
But Rob,
We already subtracted those 3.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but
Okay, now, Sam,
Rob,
Rob.
Want me to do this? You want?
you do her.
I'll do
You
her.
got her
and then
down pat,
You
buddy.
jump in anytime.
If you, yep,
He's good at.
All right. The two bids are not apples to apples, unfortunately. That's why there's the difference between Reith and Riley at .97, or I should say $0.97 per square foot versus Elmer's at $0.93 per square foot. Now, Sam and I further researched the reason why the big difference. The sidewalk runs parallel to the road, obviously. Reith and Riley are going to cut the asphalt right to the edge of the sidewalk, pull all the old asphalt out, go to a depth of 2 inches, all the way to the road center. That has a lot of material to take out too, because you gotta go down 2 inches to make room for your asphalt. Elmer's, on the other hand, is not doing that. They're starting out at the sidewalk at 1/4 of an inch and getting their how many inches is it? Going out to their 2 inches to the center at 1/4 to go out to 8 feet. So I'll have 1/4 of an inch at the sidewalk, all the way out here at 8 feet, 2 inches wide. Does that make sense? So we start with a little ribbon of asphalt next to the asphalt, I know. So that's where the difference in pricing is, because they're hauling away less material, because they're not going down 2 inches from the sidewalk. Whereas Reith and Riley is going to cut out that 2 inches all the way across. Cost is cheaper from Elmer's, but with Reith and Riley, we're not gonna have that 2 inches, which is called quarter crowning, where it keeps crowning and breaking away. The longevity is going to be less, but we can pave more roads. But that's where we're at. Sam.
what happened was, I'm the one that put this out for bids. Of course, I don't know how to write specs. So what I in turn did was said, Mike, how come your bid's 7,800, Reith and Riley? More than Elmer's. And he, of course, told me what he was doing. I never knew he was gonna go out from the sidewalks that run parallel with Mortensen's, Verizon's, in the church. He's gonna go out 8 foot from the edge of that sidewalk and physically cut a line the whole length of them sidewalks. Pull that blacktop out and replace that with 2 inches all the way across, so that we don't get this in it. We have a full compacted 2 inch, like Rob was saying. If you quarter crown it, you go from nothing to something, and they'll split it, and they'll split the road into four ways is what they'll do, because of their paver will only pave 12 foot wide or whatever. So it's gonna be a quarter crown from nothing to something, where Reith and Riley is a full 2 inches right off the bat. So we're not gonna have to worry about a potholing out. So I called Elmer and said, well, how come, what are you doing? We're gonna start at the very edge. Do you want us to give you a 2 inch lip so everybody has to step over it at the sidewalk? Or do you want us to quarter crown it and go from nothing to 2 inches? So at that point I said, thank you very much, you both answered my question. So at this point, I would make a recommendation, if you're gonna do road paving, for the $7,800 more, you paid an engineer to Mike by giving him the bid to go ahead and do it, because that's what he does for a living.
So we can make a motion to accept a higher bid based on the criteria. I'll make that motion.
But-
The question I asked though is, when earlier I heard that Elmer's didn't have the same roads bid either on some of them. There was 4 different, and you were.
There was 3 different.
One of them.
I felt comfortable with Mike when Mike, talking to Mike before he even bid for Central Lake. He come to me and said, Sam, I think I can come in for I went to Mike and said, Mike, what do you figure you're gonna come in at? He says, oh, probably $1.20 a square foot, something like that. And I said, God, they're releasing me $150,000. You go down and bid this road, this road, and this
Okay.
road extra for me? But I felt comfortable asking him that, knowing that if you guys only approved the $97,000 worth, that I could tell him, Mike, you're not gonna approve the rest of it, and he'd take it off the bid.
Okay.
Where with Elmer's, I didn't feel comfortable enough asking them to do that.
How much was Reeve Riley's total bid cost to do all the roads?
$144,265.
Even though the bids aren't apples for apples, which they aren't anyways because of criteria.
Right.
Should we approve the one for, because that's what you were originally gonna do, right?
Correct.
Well, really, it isn't one bid is cheaper than the other, it's one way is doing it the right way, and the other way is.
The other way is doing it their way. It's whether it's the right way or the wrong way. I'm not an engineer, so I didn't give them specs to go by. I said, you guys pave roads for a living. You do it, you plan it the way you figure it's gonna last 20 years for the village of Central Lake. That's the way I approached it. I'm not gonna tell Elmer's how to pave a road. I'm not gonna tell Reeve and Riley. They know how to do that stuff.
I say, can we, like, approve, we already kind of set aside when we did our budget, $150,000 for road paving.
Right.
Can we say, Sam, use Reeve and Riley and get as many of our roads that need to be paved for $150,000? Can we pass
Well,
that way?
Go with that right there.
We've got this one right here, 144.
That's what I'm saying. Can
Yeah.
we-
Now,
pass
So
it
can
down?
we amend what I just said then?
keep in mind, on this Reeve and Riley bit, I want to bring this up because I've never had this opportunity to bring it up to you. Mike also went ahead, since the cost of crude went down so low, they actually make a softer, more pliable, but yet still as durable oil that they can put in this.
Oh,
Because we're doing overlays so you get reflective cracking. I call it alligatoring. And what they found out in Charlevoix and Herbert Springs is, with the softer oil, they don't get the reflection cracking as much. So he give you an option of, what is it, right, 4,100? To go to this softer oil, and they're usually not in the spot where they can do it because the price of crude is so high.
Yep, $4,100 up to PG 58-24, or PG 58-28.
I've never seen anything on it. I just don't,
I would be real comfortable making that motion.
he said Bay Harbor and Charlevoix, that's all they
Can I
can
Just rescind it, change it to say that we approve Reeve and Riley for up to whatever the budget figure, 140 or 144.
150, I think.
150?
Yeah, we already approved 150, we just gotta approve the bid.
so
So,
she's making a
But I
motion to
made
approve the
I
bid.
made the original motion to approve the bid for 97.
was it seconded?
I did, I seconded
So
it.
it went dead.
Nobody's
You don't gotta amend
Leila
it.
did.
Oh, you did?
I did,
Oh,
I
okay.
seconded
You
it.
wanna,
We rescinded that motion.
Okay,
I
all right, you
rescind it
said
and
it.
instead say,
We don't
we'll
need it
go up
then.
to one, or we're just merely approving that bid.
Reeve and Riley bid.
I'm
Yes,
making
what's
the
the total
motion
on
that we
that?
approve Reeve and Riley bid.
$144,265, 144,265.
Make sure you
We're
know it
accepting the
goes.
144
265.
bid.
And I still support it.
And
I like
that,
him, but-
that does more roads also for us.
I
That
think,
we allow
Okay,
Sam to
so
do
I'm
as
making
much
them for
paving we
144.
can.
Are you gonna use the softer oil, or are you gonna stick with the regular mix that we've always
You're our
used?
DPW guy, you tell us what we're.
I don't know nothing about this softer mix,
I don't
I've
either.
never been approached because of the price of crude.
Does the one, is,
this
Yeah.
144 doesn't
Yeah.
include the softer
It
oil.
It would bring
There's
us
an
up to
additional
$148,100.
$4,100.
well,
we
we
still
set
on
up to
bid
150.
150, we're still
But
on.
you guys
Still
need to
under
make
bid,
that
yeah.
decision, not me.
The
Oh,
That's
it's
that's why I want
not
that
The
done.
150 was a budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The one, the
148
148, 365
With the softer oil.
is
There you go.
with the soft oil.
exactly.
That's,
Make the motion, we pay 148, whatever.
65.
There you go.
Support again.
Okay.
Still.
We got all these.
Still.
365. 148, 365.
I think for $4,100, it's worth giving it a shot.
Yeah.
See how it lasts.
Absolutely.
Especially with the good reviews that you got from.
Bay Harbor and Charlevoix said they're not gonna pay no more roads without it.
Yeah.
Even when the price of crude goes back, they said they will have it in.
Good.
Bless your hearts.
Okay.
I like them. They sound honest. For a change.
okay, we've got a motion and support to accept Reith and Riley bid for $148,365. Roll call?
Yes.
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 Yes. Now, crude keeps going down.
You bring that up with them. I think he crossed that paragraph out, didn't he, on the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did, yep. Just in case it does keep going down.
No, once we contact them, they'll just put us on the list.
Yes,
They can't raise it.
Oh, they can't.
June, July, or August, but it will not be done during any events for the village, like 4th of July weekend, they can't come anywhere around. And he'll, work that out with me before they
Because
even
usually
start.
they come to us a little later in the season.
And that's the reason being is Bay Harbor has all their festivals in them 3 months, and they tell them you can't do no road paving in here that time of year. So that's when they come to the smaller communities to try to get that stuff caught up.
Sure.
And that's one of the reasons the price is what it is. They can use you as a fill-in.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think for
I like doing it.
the 150,000 bid, we're getting a lot done.
That's,
We are getting a lot.
intermediate back here, I think I told Larry and everybody, it was $2.25 a square foot for the overlay. You're getting an average overlay for 97 cents a square foot now, since crude oil's dropped out. That's unbelievable.
Okay, we have one more action item, generator bid. What is that bid?
It is $26,542 from Arndt Electric, and Graham Electric Motor will be putting that generator.
Can I chime in here?
Yep.
It says natural gas generator. What we found out is the gas line that supplies the well house is 5/8 by 270 feet long. That generator that is bid for natural gas takes 989,000 BTUs to run it. That gas line that's hooked up to the well house will only supply roughly 300,000 as it is now. Plus, keep in mind, I got a heater in there running now. So, the possibility is, if the gas company's gonna charge too much to run a new gas line in, which it costs $9,000 to one run over here, I say get an LP tank, switch the generator to LP, which there's no difference in cost. It's the same, I already checked on that. Set an LP tank and build a fence around it at the well house so nobody can see it.
Have you got an estimate on what size of a tank you gotta have to run it?
Joe just asked me about cubic feet, and I still haven't got the information on that because I didn't realize
So
that
you get more power out of
LP burns hotter than natural gas. So you get more BTUs out of the LP, but how much it's gonna be,
well, the thing with them too is also they don't run on pressure, they run off volume. You gotta have mass volume, and that's why, hence the bigger line.
tank.
Yeah.
and this generator is, got the control, so it's gonna be set up so it starts itself once a week. So it cycles and runs itself and everything.
So this money is for either kind of generator.
Melissa, to be honest with you, I think it's gonna be LP.
There's no difference in cost for.
They wanted $9,000 to run
$9,000
they wanted $9,000 to run a service line over here, I see no reason why it's not gonna be that much up there.
I would approve the bid for the generator and leave it up to Sam on his choice of
Now,
aspiration.
this one here says model type natural gas.
Right, cause that's what we originally bid, because we didn't think about it, and then the guy from Graham Electric goes, hold it, have you talked to your gas company? So I said, Kevin, who works for the gas company, he come over and, yep, you definitely got a problem.
We put ours in the fire hall on it, natural gas, and we had to run a 1-inch line in. There was a half-inch
Yeah.
line that run that.
Yep. So that's why my recommendation for no more that's gonna run, to throw $9,000 or whatever it is to put one in. Set an LP tank, put a nice womanized fence around everything, cover it all up, cause it's at our softball field, so it still looks nice. And that, a fence is something we could build. So there's nothing but labor involved in it.
I'd make the motion to approve the bid for the
I'll
generator.
support that.
Moved and supported by Bodley and Patton to accept the generator bid. Spending money, roll call?
Yes.
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 Yes. Sam should be running water in the houses?
No, I think last week I talked to Brian Vander Ark from the County Road Commission, and at 39.7 inches, the ground was still 33.2. So, and Brian didn't feel that we get over 4 foot deep to frost. So I think we're gonna be in good shape this year.
We got 3-4 more days of really cold and then it's supposed to cool.
What,
We've got a good snow cover now.
And we get good snow.
what's nice, that test holes in Eastport, and all Brian does is type it into his computer. I guess they're all over the county.
Oh, yeah.
And they can pull it up and he can tell me exactly what the frost depth is in that hole. Someday I hope to have enough money to come back to the village and say, can we put one in the middle of M88 for the county to use and use their software, and so we could read it.
Where'd you get his pricing on that?
I don't know what that's gonna cost,
Google it, man.
but it sure would be nice.
Any public comment? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
And moved and supported by Valley and Zelenak to adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you all for coming.
Can I quit bringing water samples with me since nobody's bothered to ask?
Oh, I'm gonna ask you.
Lead and
You
copper.
wanted to talk about it?
Our lead levels are, the MCLs for lead through the DEQ are 15 parts per million. Per billion, excuse me, ppb. Ours are 2 parts per billion. So that tells you how good we are on lead.
So we're not getting Flint water.
We're not getting Flint water. Flint's problem is their old homes. That's all it is.
It's the lines from